Feisty and I'm here with Kapow at Sydney Supanova 2016. There's so much to do and I'm having a look around and I can't wait to get stuck into it.
Coming up on the show, I chat with some local comic creators. Jill speaks to Cospaly Ambassador A.K. Wirru. Seizure speaks to the guys from ORIGN PC. We check out some of the cosplay at Supanova. Seizure talks to legendary artist Bode. The guys talk cult classics with In the House from Event Cinemas. And Ash catches up with Stefan Kapicic, who played Colossus in the Deadpool movie.
So let's go check it out.
So, Feisty, do you enjoy doing interviews? Did my voice just break? Finally! Oh, thank God! The list is a 200-page psych horror. Got the influences, title-wise, Preacher, The Crow, Seven, movies like Clockwork Orange. The book itself is, it's got religious undertones. It's a thriller. It has a lot of nasty stuff in it. It's basically a story about a young man who is visited by someone who claims to be an angel, bearing the new commandments because the old commandments have failed, and that's why the world is such a mess. This young man has these 5 new commandments tattooed down his chest, and as he goes about his insane urban holy quest, he carves them off with a knife. And when I say that to myself, I think, what the hell have you written, Paul? What have you done?
You've obviously done something right because it's got a sequel, so...
Yeah, there's a lot of people like the sick shit. You know, I've written sweet stories. I'm writing a new little fantasy story. It's the dark stuff that I'm worried about them.
What are you most looking forward to this weekend?
This weekend, 2 words, open bar, which are words that I both love and hate. I love them today and I'll hate them tomorrow. So I think that's it. But aside from that, I've actually had a lot of people come along who have bought the first one and grabbed the second. I'm from Melbourne, so I don't get to see this much. So it's been most heartening that they enjoyed the first and they're picking up the sequel. That's really the main reason I do this. You come along and you meet people face to face who have read your work, because people buy it and they walk off into yonder and you're like, wonder what they thought about it. And then for them to come back and buy the sequel and tell you that they've enjoyed the first is honestly the reason we do it. It's pretty amazing. Give you a run.
Yeah, it's your lifeblood. And it's, so what are people saying when they come and talk to you about your work?
A lot of them talk about the twist they didn't see coming at the end. A lot of people talk about nightmares. Some people talk about their drinking problems they've had since finishing it. But I think a lot of people appreciate that in day-to-day life, we've got to put out our light side, we've got to be good and be nice and all that sort of gear. So if you have a work that not embraces, but is a little dark and a little brutal, then people get to indulge in their dark side a little. And I think that's heartening and good. And it's good to do it through a book and not in real life.
Yeah, it's definitely better to explore it, in the privacy of your own mind than in the real world.
Yeah, kids, don't do the list on the roads. Don't do it in real life, please. I'll end up in jail.
Safety warning here. You heard it first. Oh, thanks for talking to us.
Lovely, thanks, Feisty.
I'm here with Wirru, who is one of Supanova's cosplay ambassadors. Hi, Will. How you going?
Hey, Jill. How are you?
Good. So tell us, what is being a cosplay ambassador mean to you?
Cosplay Ambassador for Supanova is a way for me to give a little bit back to the community. Mm-hmm. I've been cosplaying for about 10 years now, and recently I've been doing a lot of tutorials and sharing a lot of my experience, and being a cosplay ambassador here is just a platform for me to communicate to the attendees of Supanova and to gather some feedback for the event as well.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so what sort of things are people coming to you with?
Things like how to make certain projects, and I'm here as like a contact point for people who don't quite know where to start with their projects, and if anyone is looking at starting cosplay as well, we're here to have a chat and also for general feedback for the event as well. If there were any changes that attendees were looking at wanting to see in Supanova, then we're here to listen.
Great, okay. So yesterday you were on the diversity panel, and that's a really important issue for people these days, especially attending conventions and having a space, like a safe space.
Right, yes.
So tell us a little bit about what happened on the panel.
We had a panel of 6 people who had a wealth of experiences with the topic, and we went through a few questions and answers with growing up in the community, how we relate to the geek community as well, and going through a few suggestions from the crowd as to how we can change the atmosphere of the convention to become more inclusive to everybody.
Oh, that's really important. I think it's good to have something like that at conventions as well, because I mean, sometimes it's not always something that people can openly talk about in real life, but to be accepted in a community like this and be able to share that part of people's lives as well is like super important.
And I found that Supanova is quite inclusive. It is a safe space, and it is a very diverse. It is a diverse cast of staff members as well as attendees as well. And we, as the cosplay ambassadors, Melissa and I, are actively trying to bring that into the foreground. We're trying to make a change to become more proactively inclusive, and not just being a safe space, but as promoting ourselves and making ourselves known as an inclusive and diverse space.
Awesome. So do you have any tips for anyone that's starting out in costuming or wants to come to a convention?
Sure. My number one tip for coming to a convention and starting costuming and cosplay is to start with a character that you're really passionate about. I started my first one with my favorite character of all time, which was Shinji from Evangelion. Everybody else hates him, but I loved him. And I think the best thing you could do in cosplay is to have it come from the heart. So pick someone you're really passionate about from a series that you really love.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
I'm here with Rob, and we're here at the ORIGN stall. So tell us a little bit about ORIGN. What is it?
So ORIGN, we're a PC building company, so based in South Australia. So we build anything from full customizations for anyone, basically from $1,000 up to $60,000. So
60,000?
Yes, 60,000. Even higher. It just depends on what the customer would like.
Can one fall off the truck for me, if that possible?
Maybe. We'll see what we can do.
Oh, sweet. So this is, you're in Supanova, but you guys aren't like comic book related, but what are you guys doing here?
So basically we've been doing Supanova for about 4 years now, so we're good friends of the Supanova owners, and basically we bring a bit more entertainment for people when they want to have a rest or have a play of a game, try out some new technology. So at the moment we're displaying the HTC Vive, so powered by an ORIGN PC, so one of our Genesis models. But yeah, we just try different games and companies, so we work with some of the biggest companies like Bethesda, EA, Blizzard, 2K, all of the bigger ones as well, just trialing their games for them so people can give it a try before they buy, basically.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Is there any games you're excited about?
Overwatch myself, and definitely the HTC. So the HTC Vive is just something I can't stop playing.
Do you have any demo samples of the HTC to give away?
Not at the current moment, unfortunately, but maybe in the near future at the next events.
Oh, maybe in the future. So if you follow us, I'm still taking it. But tell us what else you guys are selling here. I see you got some headphones.
Some peripherals here. So we got everything from SteelSeries to Gigabyte, AMD gear. We got Seagate as well. So we do everything from some of the most major suppliers to the smaller ones. So we just every event's different. But we definitely try to get everyone involved. So.
Excellent. And if people want to buy stuff, they can go to your website, right?
Definitely, they can build a PC from scratch there. It'll tell you the prices as you put the prices in there. If not, they can just give us a call and we'll put whatever they like into it. So.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Rob. Appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you.
Hi,
Hi, I'm Feisty and I'm here with Karen Beilharz today talking about her new book Monsters. Can you just tell us a little bit what that's about?
Well, it's an anthology of short comics for children that are all about monsters, and it's basically to help kids talk about their fears. And the idea is that kids would read it with a parent or another trusted adult, and then hopefully through the stories, conversations will come up where kids can talk about the things that scare them, basically.
Excellent. So what motivated you to come up with this kind of book?
Well, it was my daughter, who is now 5, but when she was 3, she said to me with utmost seriousness, "Mummy, I'm really scared of monsters." And, she'd say, "I see a monster there, I see a monster there." And I'm like, you look and you see there's nothing there. But obviously there was something going on in her head. And I kind of thought, I want to explore that idea of fear and use monsters as kind of the symbol or the cipher for that sort of thing. And so I decided to write these 11 comics that are kind of about monsters, but also about stuff like being scared of the dark, being scared of strange people, even being scared of strange food. My daughters have huge eating problems. They do not like new foods. So, yeah.
So picky eaters.
Yes, very, very picky eaters. I'm sure lots of parents have picky eaters, but mine seem to be particularly picky.
Oh, excellent. So what's the response been when people have read the book and completed it with their kids?
You mean adults or children?
Oh, let's talk about adults and then move on to kids, yeah.
Yeah, adults like it. I think, though they do find it a little kiddie because it is pitched definitely for kids, but I think adults like the playfulness of it. There's a comic at the end called My Mummy the Monster, which I think quite resonates with a lot of parents, because that's that whole wanting to be a loving parent, but at the same time also having monstrous aspects of being a parent, if you know what I mean. Like, as a mum, I can sometimes be at the edge of losing my temper and that sort of thing. Whereas the kids are all telling me that it's really fun and they like it. Some of them find some comics a little bit scary, but lots of parents have been emailing me and telling me that their kids are, taking the book to bed with them at night. Or one little boy asked, "Is there a sequel? Because I want to read the sequel."
Well, that's always encouraging, but the question is there going to be a sequel now?
Oh, that is a big question. I've only just finished the book, so I think I need a little bit of time and space to decide what kind of project that I want to do next. But I certainly have really enjoyed writing for children with this project.
Excellent. But yeah, it's been lovely talking to you, Karen, and I hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you, Feisty.
I'm here with Mark Bode, a graphic artist, graffiti artist, comic book artist, and all-time good guy. How you doing, Mark?
I'm doing pretty good.
So what are you doing here at Supanova?
Well, it's the first time that I've ever been to a comic convention in Australia. And
how are you finding it?
Oh, I love it. There's a lot of spray can graffiti heads coming out of the woodwork to come and get our artwork and pick up our merchandise and our T-shirts and stuff like that.
Which is really interesting because you have an interesting background. You started in the graffiti world before you started doing comics, correct?
The other way around.
Oh, other way around. Sorry, my mistake. So how did it all start for you?
Well, it all started with my father. My father was Vaughn Bode, and he was a cartoonist in the 60s and 70s, and he did Cheech Wizard, The Lizards, Junk Waffle, Erotica, Dead Bone. All these comic books came out in the late 60s, early 70s, and they influenced graffiti art all over the world. I mean, it started on New York City subway trains, and then it just started rippling out, and now it's all the way around the world. It's probably the most sampled art, characters in comics is probably my father's creations. And I followed in his footsteps. I was like 6-7 years old when he started teaching me, "Son, this is how you draw tits." And that's what he first taught me to draw. I mean, he said, if you draw them this way, you will always make money.
And have you been making money?
I make money like crazy.
So you've been drawing pretty well, right?
Just drawing tits. It's amazing.
And you also worked on like a lot of graffiti walls, right?
Yeah. All over, like Barcelona, London, Amsterdam, and then of course in the States, I've done murals. I got a big jam I did with Os Gimos, the twins from Brazil, who are like really hot in the spray can world. In fact, they're just about at the top of the list as far as popularity goes, and we worked together on a 7-story building in downtown San Francisco. It's the biggest Cheech wizard in the world, and it's on the back of the Warfield Theater.
And is that one you highlight, the one you're most proud of? Like, I'm guessing you'll be proud about
the biggest and probably the best location.
Yeah.
You know, it's like right downtown San Francisco. Can't miss it. 7 stories high. You know, it's not the best neighborhood in the world, but it's interesting because before we did the piece, there was just all kinds of drug dealing and junkies and and all riffraff going all around. But after the piece went up, they all had to move because of all the paparazzi that was coming in there. So art has this ability to.
So basically, real estate agents, if you want to get rid of scum in the neighborhood, hire this guy.
Yeah, there you go.
And you also worked on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic books. Is that correct?
Yeah, I worked on Turtles for about 7 years.
Yep.
Kevin Eastman is a good friend of mine. He co-created it, and we worked on the original comic book line back in the 90s.
So if people want to come and buy your stuff or look at some of your work, they can go to markbode.com or on Instagram, Mark V Bode. Is that right?
Yes, yep. Mark V, like Vaughn, Bode, yeah.
Here with Evie Dantes. How's it going?
It's going fantastic. I'm having a blast today at Supanova.
What are you just up at?
I'm Darth Talon.
And I'm Darth Raven.
And what do you guys like about Supanova?
The most I love is the passion everyone has doing their cosplays. Just seeing everyone is absolutely awesome.
Not just creating your costume, just spending months and months on it, and just feels good when you finally get it.
Well, what is it you like about Supanova?
I think it's just a great attitude. Everyone's really supportive, really happy to just embrace whatever you're doing.
If I was to say back, forward, down, down, high punch, what is that? Fatality.
It's a fatality!
Yes. Oh, she knows her stuff.
Finish him!
What do you enjoy about Supanova?
I actually love meeting people. Talking to people is probably my favourite part. Getting to see all the different artists. I don't usually spend all that much money, but mainly just talking and...
Well, you don't spend money?
Not here. I spend all my money on my costumes.
Let's cut this one. I'm here with Anthony Kieran of Event Cinemas for their In the House Cult Film Classic. How you doing, Anthony?
Really well. Fantastic day here. It's a pleasure to be able to have this store here at Supanova. So thanks to the Supanova team. They're actually one of the major partners of In the House, so it's great to have them on board.
So tell us some of the movies that you play at in the classics.
Well, it's quite a diverse range of films. This season coming up starts on July the 22nd, and we have Big Trouble in Little China. We've got some big guns in there as well with The Godfather, The Shining, The Thing, Kurt Russell, John Carpenter, Serenity, which should do well with a lot of the Supanova fans, and Donnie Darko. So a big season of films lined up. We're actually into season 5 season 5, but we're actually coined at season 0 this time round.
Why 0?
Well, because it plays in other sites in Western Australia, Queensland, South Australia, and now we're going to Newcastle, the Novocastrians. So they were in season 2, so we've decided to start all over again, so we're all season 0 starting again.
So this is like your DC rebirth kind of thing?
This is it, rebirth. It's starting all over again. So look, it's a great program. It's a lot of fun. We've got some beautiful hosts in all our different locations. In Sydney we have David Quinn from Supanova.
It's pretty impressive.
Who's fantastic, and he's joined by Jason Jabba Davis from Channel 7. They're our 2 hosts at George Street, and it really is a lot of fun, a lot of frivolity. They give a great little review of the film. The audience get up and play games, and then everyone sits down and just watches a great cult classic. So we normally sell out most sessions. So if you are interested, make sure you go online and book. Go to our In the House Facebook page and tell us the films you'd like to see. We are listening. And it's great. It's a lot of fun.
You got a really interesting poster there. Who did the art for that?
Marcelo Baez does the artwork. He's done the artwork for the last 2 seasons, and the whole concept with the artwork was naturally to have the cinema complex, but the characters having fun and and interacting with each other, and it's almost like they're having a party at the cinema. He's an extraordinary illustrator. He's done some amazing work. And in fact, last season, Quentin Tarantino, when we had a premiere of The Hateful Eight at George Street, he was shown the poster and he commented how iconic and how amazing the artwork was. So great credit to him. And Nick Shaw was my other creative person on the team who comes up with the concept and whatnot. So I have some really good people on board.
Well, it sounds like a fun night out. I recommend you guys go to Event Cinemas right now and buy your tickets. Thank you very much, Anthony. I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
This is a shameful and reckless use of your powers. You will both be coming with us.
It's Ash for Kapow, and I'm standing with Colossus himself, who is quite a colossal-sized person, which is great. It's Stefan Kapicic, who played the voice of Colossus in Deadpool. G'day, mate. Welcome to Australia.
Thank you so much. I love Australia so much, so I was excited, coming here and everything. I enjoy every second of it.
It's raining. Did you bring a boat with you?
I'm used to rain, because I'm from Europe generally, but, now I live in Los Angeles, so it's beautiful for me to see rain again,
You're a big bloke. I'm 6'6". You must be, what, 6?
I'm 6'4", 6'5", kind of.
Yeah.
Something in between.
Colossus, the character himself, is, what, 7.5 feet?
Yeah.
Do you find being a little bit bigger, it's easier to project that voice and bring a big presence to such a big character like that?
Well, no. As a matter of fact, when I was doing Colossus, because I did like all the facial expressions, all the acting, the voice and everything, so I was going through like the character of Pyotr Nikolaevich Rasputin, which is like Colossus's human form, before he becomes a superhero Colossus. So I was thinking that Peter is going to have the same voice, maybe, a little bit like lighter, but still. So I thought, that's me, and I'm just in my superpower moment. So that's the way I was doing it.
Deadpool broke so many rules when it comes to movies and shooting movies and everything. How did it feel going into a movie which could have quite easily flopped because everyone was saying, this can't work, you cannot do this in a movie? How was it going into a movie that just broke so many rules?
Well, first of all, I'm a huge comic book fan. So having a chance to be in Marvel movie and be a superhero, I didn't care about the result, I just wanted to be a superhero in one moment. So I wasn't thinking about, what is that going to be a flop or whatever. I was just enjoying that role, and I was, thanking God for the opportunity that I got. So it was, it was worth it because we became the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time, which is really unbelievable.
It just goes to show it's okay to break the rules. Not the law, kids. Break the rules.
Break the rules, and we can allow that with Deadpool.
What a voice. Stefan Kapicic, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Enjoy Australia.
Thank you.